Hello again, folks. Welcome back. I want to come at you today with a couple of little ideas. I'm going to make this one a quick video, but I want to talk to you about a guy in particular called Andrew Scheps. Now, I'm sure you've all heard about him. I've been watching a lot of his videos of late, and I'm trying to incorporate some of his ideas and make them work for me. So what I want to touch on today is two ideas. One is his form of sidechain compression, and the second is mixing in mono. Now, to start off with, you're listening to this broadcast in mono. I'm going to keep it in mono until we get things sounding how we want it. Then I'll switch to stereo and you can hear the difference yourself and see what we've achieved. Now what I'm going to do, you've seen this session before. Let's get rid of the mixer. Other than cleaning out and all the silence and tidying things up and organization, this is exactly the same session that you saw in the last video. There are some points that I'm going to discuss in another video about some viewers' questions, but we'll get to that in the next video. For this one, I just wanted to cover a couple of really quick, simple things, and sidechain compression being the first one. Now what I'll do is, if we bring us back to the session, let's play it as we've got it. So if we just hit play and have a listen to what we've got.
I was hanging out with some friends of mine down in Hollywood, just wasting time. I knew right then nobody could get me down, 'cause I was taking myself out on the town.
It's okay. It's kind of pleasant, you know. It's not very exciting, but it's kind of pleasant. So the first thing I've done, and this is one of my buys of the week, I've got to admit, for what was it, $30 or $40 for this plugin. I can't believe it. It's just blown me away. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't say enough good things about this plugin from SKNote. If you've got $40 to go and spend, go and buy it. It's just fantastic. I mean, I just wish I had this years ago. But anyway, I've put this on a let's pull it out of the way. I've got it on a sidechain bus. So what I've done is all my drums end up in this drum group as in my main drum group. That drum group is then fed into my drum bus NYC. And both of these, the drum group and the drum NYC, end up, NYC standing for New York compression. They both end up in my drum bus, okay? So basically all my snare group, my tom group, my kick group, etc. all end up in this main drum group. And then I've sidechained that into here as a sidechain compression. So let's have a listen to what that does. With just the drum bus New York compression in.
I was hanging out with some friends of mine down in Hollywood, just wasting time. I knew right then nobody could get me down, 'cause I was taking myself
Night and day,
out on the town. We're gonna have a good time. Have a good time. I didn't think it could get much better.
I mean, how good is that? I mean, let's bring up the plugin and have a little look. Where's it gone? It's down here. And I mean, I'm not doing anything fancy in here.
I was hanging out with some friends of mine down in Hollywood, just wasting time. I knew right then nobody could get me down, 'cause I was taking myself out on the town.
It just sounds incredible. I can't say enough good things about that plugin and what it's done to this drum bus. Now, from what you heard last week, I have done nothing. All you see here is Satsum. I've changed it over from Britson because I had some problems, and I finally went out and bought the Satsum plugin. But other than that, I've done no compression, no EQ, no nothing on anything. All I've done is add in this track here, which I've sent this drum group into as a sidechain, you know, as a sidechain compression, or NYC New York compression. Crushed it, the buggery out of it, using this disto plugin from SK Note. And these two are routed then into a drum bus. Okay, I've done nothing else, absolutely nothing else, and the difference it has made. Let me just mute that out one more time and bring it in. I've got to, I'm sorry, I just love it so much.
I was hanging out with some friends of mine down in Hollywood, just wasting time. I knew right then nobody could get.
God, it's like Gentleman versus Give Me a Punk Band, you know what I mean? It's just fantastic. I love it. Anyway, so that's that. So the next thing I've done is following on the Andrew Scheps coattails kind of thing that I've been watching a lot of his videos lately. I've done one of his, this has been talked about on a few other videos that I've seen. All of the music elements of this track are sent into this, or sorry, everything is sent into this track except the drums. So I've sent all the instruments, the vocals, the effects, everything into this track except the drums. And on it I've put an 1176 type compressor. It doesn't matter on the compressor. I've compressed the buggery out of it again, and then we're going to mix it in with the track. So let's turn that down. I'm going to unmute it, and let's play this, and we'll bring this one in.
I was hanging out with some friends of mine down in Hollywood, just wasting time. I knew right then nobody could get me down, 'cause I was taking myself out on the town. We're gonna have a good time.
I mean, straight away you could hear the vocals jump forward, but then when the vocals duck out, the music comes back up, because it's the vocals that tend to, you know, affect the compressor the most when they're in, and it just creates this forwards and backwards motion and pumping and breathing. It's just, I love it. Anyway, so let's just give it one more little listen.
I was hanging out with some friends of mine down in Hollywood, just wasting time. I knew right then nobody could get me down, 'cause I was taking myself out on the town. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time. I didn't think it could get much better than this. Then Charlie said, I know a place. So I went inside. That's when I saw her face, and then I knew I was gonna have a good time. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time.
It just creates so much more excitement, so much dynamic. It doesn't matter what compressor you use. I mean, you just find a compressor that works, find a compressor that sounds good, you know. Switch out compressors like Andrew Scheps does until you find something you like, and treat it the way you like. It doesn't matter, you know, there's no rules here. Now my second little trick, I nearly called it my third little trick, but my second little trick is I'm now going to drop the whole thing out of stereo into stereo, sorry. We've been listening to this whole thing in mono. Now, I've been working on this track in mono for a while. I've forgotten it's in mono. And the brilliant thing is that you can make so much clearer EQ decisions, etc. Not that I'm making any EQ decisions at the moment, but you can make some better decisions than you would do in stereo. It helps to clarify things. So what we'll do is we'll give it a little listen again in mono still, and then I'll drop it into stereo again, and you will hear what I'm hearing. The difference is phenomenal. So let's just go for this last little trick now.
I was hanging out with some friends of mine down in Hollywood, just wasting time. I knew right then nobody could get me down, 'cause I was taking myself out on the town. We're gonna have a good time. Have a good time. I didn't think it could get much better than this. Then Charlie said, I know a place. So I went inside, that's when I saw her face. And then I knew I was gonna have a good time.
I love it. I mean, hands up, that is just phenomenal. Just a couple of little moves there, and I'm, nodding my head. I've got into the music again and really enjoying it without it. So there was, before I was getting so caught up in technical stuff. And look at this, look at the session here, and you heard what you heard. I've got nothing on here other than my satsum, just fixing my levels. I've got a couple of delays on the vocals, that's it. I mean, there's nothing else going on. I think there was maybe a snare plate, but other than that, nothing. Most of these are doing nothing, and there's no EQ, there's no compression, nothing, other than on the master bus that I showed you before. And what a good start to a mix. I mean, it gets me excited. I want to carry on. I want to get into it. I want to get on, What can I say? This kind of shit gets me excited. So, anyway, excuse my little excited moment. I just wanted to share that with you. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was useful, and I hope to see you again. Thank you very much. Bye now.